Hey, we're back with another lesson. I'm Minister James Moss. This is Continuing Education. We're in the book of Philippians, and we're in chapter 2. We're about to wrap up chapter 2, and this one is entitled Paul Commends Epaphroditus. Now, we learned in the last one that he commended Timothy. But Epaphroditus was mentioned also in the scriptures that we read. So we're going to do what we do. This is going to be a short one. The one after that is going to be a little bit longer. But we've been doing pretty good because actually the longest video has been just shy of 13 minutes. Everything else has been around 10, 11, 9, 8, 9, 7. So these have been pretty decent. And we've been in some books, it's been 20, 30, there's been 40-minute videos because it was just so much information. All right, well, without further delay, I've already talked to you for almost a minute. So let's do what it do and make it do, what it does, what it will do, and what it will do. Okay, anyway, Timothy would come after Paul found out the verdict of his trial, but Paul thought it was necessary to send Epaphroditus along immediately. Paul explained that Epaphroditus had fulfilled the mission for which the Philippian church had sent him. While in Rome, he had become extremely ill. After his recovery, Paul sent him back to Philippi, carrying this thank you letter and news of Paul to share with them. All right, so here we go. Verse 25 through 30. Yet I supposed it necessary to send you Epaphroditus, my brother and companion in labor and fellow soldier, but your messenger, and he that ministered to my wants. For he longed after you all, and was full of heaviness, because that ye have heard that he had been sick. For indeed he was sick nigh unto death, but God had mercy on him, and not on him only, but on me also, lest I should have sorrow upon sorrow. I sent him therefore the more carefully, that when ye see him again, ye may rejoice, and that I may be the less sorrowful. Receive him therefore in the Lord with all gladness, and hold such in reputation, because for the work of Christ he was nigh unto death, not regarding his life, to supply your lack of service toward me. All right. Verse 25. Epaphroditus had come to from Philippi to Rome, acting as their messenger to deliver a financial gift from the Philippians to Paul, and to care for Paul on the Philippians' behalf. Epaphroditus may have been an elder in the church of Philippi. Epaphroditus had come not just to deliver money, but to minister to Paul's spiritual needs. He may have been sent to Rome to remain with Paul indefinitely, ministering to and encouraging the imprisoned apostles. Like Timothy, he put another's need ahead of his own. Epaphroditus came to serve Paul, but Paul felt it necessary to send Epaphroditus back to Philippi with this letter to assure the Philippians of Paul's well-being after his severe illness. Paul wanted the Philippians to know how highly he regarded Epaphroditus, so he characterized him with 3 names: true brother, meaning fellow believer; faithful worker, which means he too was working for God's kingdom; and 3, courageous soldier, referring to the solidarity among believers who are fighting the same battle. Verse 26. Communication happens so quickly in our world, but Epaphroditus couldn't just pick up the phone or send an email saying all is well. The Philippians had heard that Epaphroditus was ill, and word of their concern about him had gone back to Rome. When he recovered, Epaphroditus was longing to see his friends and family in Philippi so they would know he was well. So Paul figured the best way to do that would be to send him home again. Verse 27, the Philippians' concern about Epaphroditus' illness had been well-founded, for he had been so ill that he almost died. While the apostles had been given the ability to heal, it was not a permanent gift to be used at will. Otherwise, Paul would have surely healed his friend. Instead, Paul could do nothing but pray. Epaphroditus recovered because God had mercy on him as well as on Paul, who would have faced unbearable sorrow at the death of his friend. What illness Epaphroditus had and how he regained his health are unknown. To Paul, these details were less important than the significance of the healing. God had mercy on both of his servants, on Epaphroditus by healing him and returning him to ministry, on Paul by not adding the sorrow of bereaving a friend's death on top of another sorrow rendered by his imprisonment. Verse 28. With Epaphroditus' unexpected return, the church might think that his mission to minister to Paul had failed. They might be concerned that Epaphroditus was leaving Paul alone in Paul's most desperate time of need. Instead, Paul took full responsibility for Epaphroditus' return to Philippi and encouraged the believers to rejoice that he had come back to them. As he planned to do with Timothy, Paul willingly sent away those closest to him if their ministry were required elsewhere. Paul willingly sent away those closest to him if their ministry were required elsewhere. Okay, we're going to bypass that. Epaphroditus had certainly been an encouragement to Paul. As Paul's description of this brother indicates, yet Paul knew that the Philippians needed to see Epaphroditus for themselves. This would ease Epaphroditus' distress and lighten Paul's cares at the same time. Verses 29 and 30, while Epaphroditus had not been able to remain in Rome to encourage Paul as the Philippian church had hoped, Paul wanted the believers to welcome him back and give him great honor for what he had done. Paul let the Philippians know that Epaphroditus had not failed in his mission and that he should be given great honor. Epaphroditus had risked his life for the work of Christ by helping Paul on behalf of the Philippian church. Paul needed personal encouragement. The church couldn't give it because they were far away. But Epaphroditus had taken that responsibility and had risked his life to help the apostle in his time of need. Epaphroditus had done his work so well that he could report back to Philippi and bring Paul's letter of thanks and encouragement along with him. I don't know, it was a little snag in there somewhere, but this gives you, a good understanding of the unselfishness of what brotherly love is, among the believers. Epaphroditus taking care of Paul extremely well. Paul and Epaphroditus being concerned for Philippi and the members there, the church there and the people there, and it's just, anyway, go back, read it, listen to the commentary again, and just see if you can find yourself in the scripture, and ask God to just say, look, how does this fit my life? How can I make it fit my life? All right, until next time, God bless you, God keep you, and continue to study. And thank you for all that you do for this ministry and your support. We thank you, and we love you. God bless you.